Let's see how much time I got here. An hour and 29 minutes. So, I got my ashwagandha tea. Earlier today I was thinking about what it would be like to have unlimited discipline. Like discipline that just never runs out. Unlimited willpower. Like it just never turns off. And then I started thinking about how I wanted to, certain things that I want to do in this life, like certain things that I want to, just goals that I have. Like I'm pretty ambitious with my goals. I usually shoot for goals that are, to the average person might seem unattainable. And I think about certain times in my life where I was very disciplined and I accomplished things that were great, or things that I, years prior never thought I would have accomplished. But when I think about the times when I was the most disciplined and accomplished the most, it felt like when you get the accomplishment, it just feels amazing. It's like one of the sweetest joys. And, some people, there's this notion that people are talking about like, oh, it's fleeting. Like once you get what you want or what you strive for, it's short-lived. Like you'll feel good for a little while, then you'll get used to it. Which there's some truth to that, but that's not really the way to look at it. Like, because this whole thing with discipline, the whole point of why I want to record a video right now is because discipline, what's the opposite of discipline? The opposite of discipline is just being, basically the opposite of discipline is a lack of self-control. Now think about what would happen if you didn't have any self-control. And think about what would happen if you had unlimited self-control or unlimited discipline. What would happen, like think about it, if you didn't have any self-control or discipline at all? Because what I wanted to share was, when I'm super disciplined, not even super disciplined, let me tell you something about the last time I really tried to double down on the discipline, like freakish amounts of discipline. When I was in Florida, I wanted to make $1,000 per day working DoorDash. I wanted to make $1,000 per week. Even though $1,000 per day would be great, I wanted to make $1,000 per week working DoorDash, minimum, to pay all the bills I needed to pay or what have you. And I also wanted to work on my hobby, or not my hobby, but my goals for myself. Content creation. I was writing music at the time, and I was studying and taking a lot of notes with certain material that I was reading and certain books that I was reading. And I was reading these books with the intent to teach what I was reading. So I had a notebook in my car. So I would take breaks between deliveries, or if I was waiting for a delivery, I would read. I would go to the car and read. If a delivery was going to take long, I would read, even if it was for 5 minutes. Read something, take a little bit of a note on it. I would listen to YouTube videos or podcasts that pertain to that specific topic that I was learning, and I would take notes. I would literally, while I was driving at a stoplight, just scribble down some notes, keep them in my head. Wait till I get to the stoplight because there's a lot of traffic. Write it down. So here I am multitasking, and then when I got home, I would be doing the same thing. If I wasn't creating, I was studying and I was taking notes. And this was consistent every single day. But what I noticed was I would do it for about maybe 4 or 5 days, and then all of a sudden I would feel kind of burnt out, and I would binge on bad habits. So it was mostly like maybe because during these times I was making sure to go to the gym to keep my energy levels high, not working out too much to sacrifice, recovery, but just enough to keep my energy high. I was making sure I was eating healthy foods that were gonna, not give me brain fog and make sure that I can operate and have a high output. So I tried to optimize as many things as I possibly could, but still, with everything and all the discipline with the food and not eating too much sugar and stuff like that, and making sure I exercised and went to the sauna, about 5, maybe 6 days, I would notice I would just feel exhausted. Like it became too monotonous. Like every single day, no leisure, nothing. And I would crash out on social media or something. I would just scroll for 45 minutes, wasting time, maybe longer some days. And I don't do that. Like, that's not me. I don't like to do that for that long. When it gets close to an hour when I'm on the phone like that, I just don't, I feel anxiety in my body. My body gets all tense and tight. I can't hold a device in my hand like this for too long. It just bothers me. So I would notice I'm neck all sore, got to get up and move around, because too much sitting is not good, and I do enough sitting while I'm driving. So I said, man, I think about it later, and I'm like, why does that happen? Why do I hit a wall? Or it might be sometimes, I'm doing good, and then I may just be underslept, and I'm hungry, and I choose to get the organic cookies. I'll just have a couple, and I'll have a couple of these. And then in my mind, I'm like, I'm not going to have a couple of these. I'm going to eat the whole box, because that's how I roll. I just eat the whole box. That's what I do. I'm hungry. It's like, it's dinner time. I should be going out of my way to make something to eat, but crunch for time, I'm trying to get things done. The snack becomes the meal. And then after I binge out on food like that, like cookies or something, I notice my energy level is messed up for the rest of the day. And then maybe even into the next day, I'm kind of, because what happens is when you give into a temptation like sugar, for instance, now it's easier to give into the temptation again, because you already did it. And then you gave yourself that taste. You gave yourself that taste, that rush of endorphins, or that dopamine rush, or whatever chemical is released when you eat sugar. Do some of the research on it. It's addictive. So next time, what happens is you're more prone to do it again. And so some of the things that I'm not being disciplined on right now is like, I find myself going to bed too late, and I know I want to get to bed earlier. So that's one of the problems. And then the other problem was things that I was eating. So hold on a second. So basically what I found was, when I give in to some of the temptations, it breaks the momentum. So if I were to just, because there's times where I'll push through, where I'd feel tired or something, I would just go take a nap instead of scrolling on social media or eating the junk food. I would, because a lot of the times when that happens is because I'm tired, right? So there were times where I'd be driving for a massive amount of hours, and I said, you know what? I'm going to pull over and I'm going to take a nap. And there's been times where I pull over, put the back seat down, and just lay down in the back. And I tell myself, I'm going to do this for a half hour. I'm just going to take a nap for a half hour. And then I end up I doze off what seems to be like 90 seconds. And I wake up and I'm trying to fall back to sleep for that 90 seconds. But I feel like this anxiety, like, oh no, I might sleep too long. So I can't fully go back to sleep, but I still feel like I gotta rest, almost like a little bit of a meditation, which gives me enough energy to get back on the road and gives me a little bit more clarity. Because there's times where I've been driving so long, late at night, and then early the next day, where I feel like my eyes getting real heavy. I look in the rear view mirror and my eyes are all bloodshot. And I'm like, all right, before I get into an accident or make a mistake, let me just pull over and sit in my seat and take a nap. I'll give myself 30 minutes. I'm not sure if I put it on a timer, but I would just just sitting in my chair like this. And I would doze off for what seemed like 90 seconds again. And I couldn't fully doze off. It's like almost, that feeling when you're almost falling asleep, but you just couldn't quite get there, That's what would happen. But every time I did that, like for instance, when I did that when I noticed my eyes were bloodshot and heavy and I was tired, I did that. I fell asleep for like 90 seconds. Took some deep breaths or whatever. And then I was like, okay, I feel a little bit better now. And I looked back in the rearview mirror, bloodshot, gone. And so, you see, it's little things like that I believe can get us over the hump. Well, me personally over the hump, because I want to be super disciplined. Like, that's what I want. I know for the goals that I have in my life, I have to have a level of discipline that's not common amongst people. And it's tough. It's a tough thing to do. But it's so worth it. And I know it's so worth it because I have little glimpses of this in my life. And certain time periods where I'm able to accomplish like really great things. And it feels good to me. And so that's why I want to share this video. But, there might be some people who are like, just relax. I mean, life is too short. I just want to just have fun and relax. What's the big deal? Why do you have to be so disciplined? Why do you have to crush all these goals? And why can't you just relax and watch TV and, have fun and eat Doritos and ice cream together and have some drinks and smoke something, chill, which is all good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's how you want to roll, you can do that if you want to. And I don't judge, I think it's all good if that's what you want to do. But if you want to get to the next level and you want to have an amazing future, because what happens sometimes, what I believe too, and there's been times in my life where this happened, is that, you think, yeah, I just want to have fun and relax and enjoy myself. But when you're in that mind frame, you actually don't realize how good life can be. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, you don't know how bad life can get either. Because some things just happen, right? That they're just setbacks. They're random things that might happen that set you back. And if you're on the back foot and you're not in a good position, it could do a number on you. It could be put you in a more difficult situation. So those are the two reasons why I think, you should excel in life, is because it puts you in a better position in case something happens, like an emergency or a black swan event of some sort. So it puts you in a better position to, get through it, just things like that. I mean, it may not be for everybody. Some people may not care about that, and that's perfectly fine. But what I would say to you is have a little bit of an open mind and ask yourself, if 5 years from now, if I keep doing all of my bad habits, where do I see it 5 years from now? You got to kind of use a little bit of foresight. And you got to use your prefrontal cortex to peer into the future a little bit and see, Maybe use your intuition, I don't know, but ask yourself where you would be 5 years from now if you continued a lot of your bad habits, or most of them, right? And then ask yourself where you would be if you stopped a lot of those bad habits and instead cultivated better habits to replace them. For instance, stop eating a lot of junk food and instead take your health serious and exercise. Maybe that be one thing that would make a major change in your life. Or I'm going to start reading and taking notes and learning things. I'm going to start learning how to be a better public speaker, or whatever it may be. And then put yourself in those shoes 5 years down the road. And you got to look at both of these scenarios. And I think the bad habit scenario should kind of scare you a little bit, and it should propel you. It should give you, throw a little bit of a battery in your back, so to speak, to continue to do the good habits, to get to that 5-year spot that you want to be in. Because let's face it, nobody wants to be in a rough situation. I think one of the things to keep in mind, this is what I was thinking about as well, is that you really have to appreciate when you resist the temptation to eat the cookies, have the drink, smoke whatever, scroll. Just when you fall back into any bad habit that you want to stop, appreciate. You have to appreciate when you defeated it. It's like you're knuckling up with the bad habit and you're not going to let it. You're the one in charge. You're not going to let something take control of you, because you're taking control. So it gives you this sense of empowerment every time you beat down that bad habit. Let me give you another example with me. So for a lot of years, I noticed when I eat before I go to sleep, I feel like crap when I wake up. Let's keep it clean. I feel like garbage when I wake up. And it lasts into the day. Even if it's healthy or whatever, a lot of the times when you're eating at night, you're not eating healthy because you're having food cravings. You're not really hungry at night. So these past couple of days, I stopped I got back into the habit of eating later at night. And it's not that I'm hungry. It's just that my brain is craving some sort of glucose or something. But the past couple of days, I've been fighting the urge to eat late at night. And usually it's not super, super late that I eat, but it's still like an hour or two before I go to sleep. And I feel best when I stop eating around 6 or 6:30 the latest. So it gives me at least 4 hours before I fall asleep, where everything is cleared out of my stomach for the most part. And then my stomach is free while I'm sleeping, which gives me a better night's sleep. So I don't know how many months I was in this habit. For the most part, I try not to do this, but it seemed like lately, like almost every single day, I've been eating within that window where I know I shouldn't be. So these past couple of days, I've been saying, no, we're not doing it. My brain says, and my stomach is making that yearning sound like, come on, give me some, sugar or something. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. I fight it. I fight the urge, and it's a small win. And so now to conquer something else feels easy. It doesn't feel hard to conquer the next thing, the next temptation that pops up. Because let's face it, temptations are going to pop up all over the place. That's just life. The more temptations we can just fight off, the better off we're going to be in that 5-year spot that we want to be. So take the time right now to think about, maybe even write down the 5-year spot that you want to be in, and list all the good habits that will help you get there. And then on the other side of the paper, write down all the bad habits, and then where those bad habits might lead you, and get creative with it. It's not something there's no right or wrong answers to this, but it's a thought experiment or just a mental exercise that I think will help people get to the next level. So I just wanted to share that video. Whatever you do, keep getting to the next level, and we'll see you on the next one.